Okay, so this is a problem that many of you have issues with on Think Through Math. It reads, a cosmetic company makes 3 batches of a nail polish color called Purple Dusk using the recipe shown. Each batch contains a different total amount of polish. Drag numbers to show how much of each color should be used in each batch of Purple Dusk. Over here, it gives you several recipes. And the recipe is actually a mathematical formula. We have to remember that words like of and is have meaning mathematically. Of means multiply, is means equals. So I'm going to use these recipes to write a formula. So the first one states 1/3 of the paint is red. So I'm going to write that as 1/3 of the paint is red. The next one states 1/4 of the paint is blue. So 1/4 of the paint is blue. I'm using variables for paint and for the color. 5/12 of the paint is white. So 5/12 of the paint is white. These are my formulas. They're what I will use to solve the problem. So now then, I'll scroll down and look at the batches. So it tells me here that in batch 1, I have 2.5 ounces of white paint. So I'm going to use my white formula. I'm going to plug in the 2.5 for the W, the variable W, to find out how many total ounces of paint are being used. So this is batch 1. And it's 5/12 of the paint is, and I'm going to convert this to an improper fraction, so that would be 5/2. Now I want to multiply by the reciprocal because I want P by itself. So the reciprocal is when you flip a fraction. That's a multiplicative identity, and so this is going to become 1. And anything I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply by 12/5. This cancels out, leaving my P. 5 will cancel out, and 2 will go into 12 6 times. So we made a total of 6 ounces of paint. Now I have to put this in to the other formulas to find out how much was red and how much was blue. So 1/3 of 6 equals red paint. What is 1/3 of 6? 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my red paint for batch 1 was 2 ounces. Now my blue. I'm going to plug in 6 for my paint. So 1/4 of the paint, of 6 was blue. So 1/4 of 6 is the same as 6/4. 4 will go into 6 one time without going over, and I have 2 left over. So that would be 1 2/4 or 1 1/2, depending on if it's reduced. Sometimes they're reduced, sometimes they are not. So I'm going to drag down my 1 1/2. I'm going to use the same formulas for the other batches. So batch number 2, I'll put that up here. Batch 2. It gives me the information for the blue. It's 2 1/4. If I convert that to an improper fraction, it'll be 9/4. So I'm going to use the blue one because that's the information it gave me. So the blue formula is 1/4 of the paint is 9/4. Multiply by the reciprocal. Do the same thing over here. My 4's will cancel out, so I made 9 ounces of paint. So now then I can plug the 9 in to the other formulas to find my missing amount of paint. 1/3 of 9. What's 1/3 of 9? 9 divided by 3 is 3. So they use 3 ounces of red paint. So I'll drag my 3 down. And I'm going to use that same formula for white. I'm going to plug in 9. So 5/12 of 9 is white. I'm going to go ahead and reduce this within the problem. This is really 9 over 1. And so 3 will go into 9 and 12. 3 will go into 9 3 times. 3 will go into 12 4 times. So now we have 15 fourths. 4 will go into 15 3 times without going over. And I have 3 times 4 is 12. So I have 3 left over. So it would be 3 3/4 ounces is white. All right. Now then, I'm going to use the 3 1/3 on the red formula. So that's going to be 10 thirds. So 1/3 of the paint is 10 thirds multiplied by the reciprocal. Do the same thing over here. These all cancel. So P is, the 3's will cancel out. So what am I left with? 10. So there were 10 ounces of paint. So now then I need to find the blue paint and the white paint. So I'll use the blue and the white formulas and plug in 10. So 1/4 of 10 is blue. So that's 10 over 4. 4 will go into 10 2 times without going over. That's 8. And so 2's left over. So 2 2/4. And again, it might be 1/2 if they reduced it. So 2 1/2. And I don't have to work out the last one because it's already solved for me. And we'll check my work. And that's how you do it.